At times I've done some initiations and work with Kundalini. But I'll tell you that I've always spent a week working on strictly syllables before I do that, because I don't think the access is possible without the syllables. I really don't. You might even think of it as a technique. I don't see it as a technique at all. But you have to have these handles somehow to go beyond the physical body. Now, if the Kundalini, if you could do some surgery and pull out the Kundalini, maybe that would be a different thing. But you see, the way that all the literature and books and all this describing Kundalini has gone is it is this incredibly abstract thing that nobody has ever really described other than this abstract feeling, really. I mean, most of the modern stuff on Kundalini doesn't even really talk about the name, you know. What does it mean that she wears earrings? Have you ever heard earrings mentioned in any of the discussion on Kundalini?
No.
No, you haven't. Well, excuse me. If a Baba came in here and the Baba's name was Earringwala Giri, right? And I said, well, this is Earringwala Giri. What, your minds wouldn't go, earring, what's the story with earring? And eventually, wouldn't you have to ask, what's the deal with earrings?
Mm-hmm.
You would have to, no?
Right.
You'd be compelled to, right? You drive yourself crazy until you ask the question, what's the deal with the earrings, Babaji? You know, where are the earrings? What's the story? Why are you earring Baba? You know? Well, here is the great goddess who is called the one who wears earrings. Right? Somebody asks the question, excusez-moi, isn't this a little bit odd? You know, number one. Number two, do you talk about the fact that she is a snake?
Well, it's coil. There's that
But what about the nature? She's a snake. You can paint a snake around something, right? But what about the fact that she is a snake? I mean, in Western culture, wasn't it the snake that tempted Eve
to bite the apple.
to bite the apple?
Right.
Isn't the snake sort of temptation, maybe even a servant of Satan? Huh? And this is not just a story. I think this is pretty much right in there, conditioned and programmed in our deeper consciousness. Huh? If you go off to the toilet and suddenly there's a snake there, what do you think your reaction's going to be? Are you going to say, "Oh, wonderful! Look at this beautiful snake"?
I have to go to the bathroom.
No, I'm going to hear a scream, and you will have gone to the bathroom in your pants. You know, that's the reality. So now everybody, oh, I want Kundalini. I give you a Kundalini, man. You're going to shit in your pants. You know. So what's the deal here? We don't call her by her name. We don't even ask anything about her name. And snake, we are abstractly transforming into something just completely different, right? So if it's sort of the Swami from Miami's idea of Kundalini that we want, or Yogi Bhajan, the way that you experience Kundalini is you hyperventilate, right? Hyperventilate, and when you get real dizzy, right, that's Kundalini, right? I'll go one up. on Yogi Bhajan, hyperventilate, and then take a hit off a cigar and don't let the smoke out. And you'll have a bigger darshan than anything you got from Yogi Bhajan. I guarantee you. Huh? I mean, isn't that ridiculous, really? Isn't it ridiculous? And what is just astounding to me is the fact that, you know, except for, you know, us here in the peanut gallery, you know, nobody scratches their head.
No,
You
it's
know,
this
where
big
does it
trend
talk?
in the West. They all want to be awake. Oh, everybody wants to have their Kundalini awakened. Like it's something that you can go and attain. That's where it's been presented in the West.
It's more than something that you can attain. It's something that somebody can do to you,
Oh yeah, the peacock feather.
or whatever. You know, there's all sorts of I've heard everything. You know, I mean, look, there's a video on YouTube that instructs you how to use Kundalini to lose weight. Use Kundalini to lose weight. Huh? I was thinking for the longest time of making a video how to properly cook Kundalini with a good sauce Arabica. An Arabica sauce, you know, sort of spice, red chilies and tomatoes, you know. Sounds like an Italian pasta, sort of, doesn't it? Kundalini?
Yeah.
Kundalini
Well,
Alfredo.
linguine and Kundalini, some prawns, you know. It's completely absurd. And if you look at the actual references to Kundalini in authoritative texts, you'll see you won't recognize anything of Yogi Bhajan or anything of any of these other people in the way that Kundalini is mentioned, invoked, described. Now, if you want to sort of see her, she actually lives in Hardwar. Right? There's a temple to her. It's called Mansadevi. Right? Mansadevi. And we invoke her all the time. But you see, if you're conditioned in this sort of Yogi Bhajan, you know, conditioning, that Kundalini is a feeling of dizziness or giddiness or just supernormalness as the result of breathing too fast, then there's nothing to do. It's got nothing to do with Mansadevi. And you would go there and you might have just incredible darshan, and yet it goes right past you because you're looking for Yogi Bhajan's breath of fire, you know, and you happen to go in winter and it's cold there. No fun. You know. So also it might be weird there if you go there on a Friday night, because this is the